actually open up the YouTube window so I can see the chat. If anybody decides to join in. Okay, yeah, no, I'm just, it's just the game. Oh, shoot, that's what I want it. God, it's been so long since I've done this. View my channel. Yeah, I think that's what I want. Oh no, I'm gonna be seeing myself. I got a thumbs up here. Yeah, I think that's what I want. Oh no, I'm gonna be seeing myself. Yeah, I am seeing myself. I got a thumbs up here. Shoot. I think how do I want. I'll just hit the mute button and that solves that problem. Somebody's watching now, but that might just be me. I don't know, sometimes YouTube is smart enough to time out. God, I'm not looking at timeout. Nobody is saying anything in chat yet. Yeah, I don't have any kind of thing on my screen to show that when I'm in the game, so I'm back in the game now, so I'm not going to be able to see any chat. I'll try to check it though. You know, it's so playing Receiver 2, if you don't know what it is, it's a gun simulation roguelike. Yeah, that's what it is. That doesn't capture the aesthetic, but that is just literally what it is. There's not a lot more to it than we are literally simulating the mechanical process of a gun, and it's a roguelike. So we're gonna resume. So because it's a roguelike, I can at least make sure that I can check in on the chat when I die, which will be frequent. This is a difficult game. So just a second, I inspect. Yeah, I got one in the chamber. So I got this with some Christmas money. I really enjoyed the first Receiver years ago. Was never any good at it in terms of like the actual progression, or I guess that would be the way to put it. Like I'm like decent enough. I can like operate the guns. I still have the frickin' help buttons open in case I need to check, so I guess I'm not that. I never was like an expert, but I really enjoy the way that it simulates the mechanical process of it. I'm gonna just quick check the chat if there's anybody. No, I got 3 people watching, so it's definitely not just me. That's cool. If anybody wants to message, or just not, if you just want to hang out, I know how I engage with live streams, which is typically not at all. Sort of have it on, so right now I'm at basically 0 progression for this. One thing that is seems interesting about this game so far is that, well, firstly, the progressions, I actually feel like I understand how it works, where Receiver 1, I really never got a handle on what was the goal. I think it was more of a game jam thing than anything the first one was. That might not be totally correct, but it was basically just you plop down, you're engaging with all of the features of the game. There's not really unlocks. Another magazine. So, if you don't know anything about Receiver, basically the idea is it's, we got a first-person shooter technically, but all of the stuff that other shooter games take for granted in terms of gun handling, this one makes you care about. So, well, like you said, like I said, and I was checking the chamber, there's a round in it. So when I pull the trigger to shoot that down there, the turret, the enemies in the game. There. That was pretty lucky, especially from this range, that I managed to just completely take it out with one shot. Now the goal of the thought actually just shooting it theoretically gets me the levels without killing any of the enemies, like classic Doom. The idea here is picking up these tapes, so that's what's making that sound right there. It's gonna play.
You have seen the signs around you. The gradual creeping, decay, and dysfunction.
And I don't really...
You have realized that something is wrong with the media and the people around you.
There was some kind of,
you know that you are different.
Event, and that's why I'm the only
this is why you are ready to become a receiver. You have been issued a series of audio cassette tapes that are part of our system for advancing insight. By continually listening to these tapes, you will drown out and eventually counteract the negative influences from your environment.
Oh, okay, well there I'm dead. Great. So... Oh, hi Friday Wiggly. Happy New Year to you too. So that's a death. Death is pretty quick. One thing it retains from the first one is that it seems a little inconsistent about how much damage you can take. There's not a health meter or anything, but you also seem to have regenerating health, so fall damage is a thing you gotta consider. Where if you fall really it's got what I would consider, I guess, realistic fall damage, where if you fall anything more than your own height, that's bad. You want to avoid it. So that's a balloon. It had some bullets in it. That's one of the ways you can pick up more ammo. So one thing you can see here is that, I guess, like a normal roguelike, it's one of the few normal roguelike things about this is that it does randomize the weapon that it gives you. So here I've got a revolver, and let me just make sure, is it loaded? Is it? I gotta look close. Do those have like notches in them? So I got a new monitor for Christmas. My sister and her husband gave me a Curvy Gamer HD. Not HD. It's HD and that's 1080p. I meant HDR. High refresh rate monitor. I wonder what frame rate I'm streaming in right now, because I kind of just went with the default settings. I don't know if this is going to be displaying anything more than 60. It might not even be 60, depending on what my computer is really capable of. So I'm just going to eject all these rounds, because I can't actually tell if they're spent or if they're fine. And judging by the fact that I can't pick them back up, I think they were spent. Yes, they were spent. They had little notches in them. So that's one of the bits of process. That's a bad guy. That the game makes you care about is, it's not just numbers. This many in the magazine. This many in the just pool of ammo you're indiscriminately carrying in your pockets. It's I will say, I think people, I don't know, might question, be like, oh, like a revolver doesn't have a magazine. I'm not like a total gun expert, but I will say that the cylinder would technically count as a magazine, because the term magazine just refers to the place where the bullets are stored. So a revolver, the cylinder, I guess, is a kind of magazine. It's like an integral magazine, like a Garand would have, not external. What is the word? The word was in my head, and now not a replaceable, or it's not. It doesn't have like a magazine, like a semi-automatic. Okay. Here, I have to get real quick. Cock. Oh, I have to holster, and now you've seen there, holster weapon to hack, like hold it to holster safely. So I can, if I wanted to demonstrate shooting myself in the thigh to death, I could just hit the tab. This is backquote. I don't know why it has the default one. Tab is what I'm gonna do is I'm going to hold the tab to safely holster it. That's a new mechanic they added for the sequel. Safety. Safely and unsafely holstering it, unholstering it. Also hacking. Shooting. Or actually I think you could just, it was just an interact button. It wasn't any kind of skill-based system. I think it's actually been like a couple of years since I played Receiver. Now I gotta find the damn tape because it can be lots of different places. Oh, there's floppy disks. That's just a bit of like reading. I don't really know how I feel about reading-based pickups in games anymore. I guess it kind of depends on the game. Like I didn't enjoy them in Doom, but I don't know. That's a whole different discussion. I've got a second here. I'm gonna check the chat. That was an unsafe unholster. One of this game's main themes is gun safety. That sounds like a joke, but it's not. So that's one shot. I have 5 left now. Gotta cock the hammer because it's a revolver. I think both of the revolvers that I have unlocked at this point are double action, so I don't have to cock it. But it does make for a nicer trigger. Also makes for a definitely much less safe holster, but... So I'm trying to find these like cassette tapes, and the guide to finding them is the singing to get closer. And they can be like anywhere. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna have to decock the hammer, so it's sort of like with a real, you gotta hold in the hammer back, pull the trigger, and then release the hammer, and then that's how you decock. Because, you know. So, I don't even have a flashlight. Can I get on top of the, okay, sure. And run. It does Grand Theft Auto style mash to run, which I don't love. This seems... Okay. Where's the tape? It's gonna be somewhere stupid. Like, that's the thing. The hiding places are sometimes very regular. I guess they're all technically regular. They aren't just placed in literally random positions. There's sets of different places, like how Left 4 Dead would position pickups. Where is this? Yeah, it's an interesting soundtrack choice, but it does get a little irritating when you gotta search for like 5 minutes to find the thing. It's in this corner, but it's not. And no, I can't move. That's not a physics object. I can't move it. Oh, is this a room of some kind that... Okay, it's probably... Okay. There it is.
This tape is designed to test your focus in the face of distraction. Maintain focus on your breathing. How did you do?
What?
If your attention wandered, that is normal. Just notice that without judgment. Let's try again.
Focus on my brain?
Good job.
What? The tapes are mostly not jokes. Oh, one thing that I should say is a legitimate content warning for this game is that one of the gameplay mechanics is that when I pick up tapes, some of them are like suicidal ideation, and you have to very quickly render your gun completely safe because the psychic force will command you to shoot yourself with the gun, and so you have to completely render it. Like you have to. I don't know just how completely because because I only just unlocked the only gun so far with a manual safety. The 1911 revolvers, you know, they're these are all, as far as I'm aware, accurate replications of the real life firearms. Revolvers don't have manual safeties. That's more of a at least these ones don't. These are like historical ones that predate external safeties becoming standardized. I think some modern revolvers do have manual safeties, but it's something that only became. It's something that's a lot more important to have on a semi-automatic. Whoa, what the? Wow, that was not one of my finer gunslinging moments. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Okay. So yeah, that's one thing you can do with a revolver in this game is if you're not totally sure how many rounds you've got spent, you can just chuck them all out, and then the game will just let you pick the good ones back up. Okay, so this is one of the mechanics of the turrets is, I guess, positional damage. You can destroy individual subsystems, and it looks like what I did is I took out the servos that move it back and forth. So this, and now I just blinded it. You can see from the lack of the light. I bolster it carefully and have it completely. What is? Oh, that just turned the light on and off. Okay. There can be bullets in these little side rooms. Or those floppy disks. I don't know if there's any link to those. Oh, there's a balloon outside the window. Nice thing is if you shoot them, you just sort of magically get anything that's inside them. And I think that you at least... Oh, there's a turret across the way there. See there, there's no way that I can get it from this distance away. Oh, okay, yeah, I shot the glass too close to it, or I think it's that I was like too close to breaking glass. You can also hurt yourself if you just shoot something that's too close to you, and I don't know if it's because it's simulating, if that's supposed to be simulating a ricochet or what. I'm not totally sure what's causing it. Crap, now I have to looking like a real dumbass constantly, like just dumping out, you know. Wait, is that a separate one or is that the same one again? I don't know, but I think that's the way forward. So the way that the progression seems to work in this game is that each run, the idea is you have to pick up 5 of these cassette tapes. And if you do that, you advance your rank. So So right now my rank is baseline, and the next rank up is called asleep. And the thing is, though, this isn't in a roguelite, that rank progression would be permanent, and in Receiver 2 you lose a rank on death, which is it's problematic, because I'm still at a place in my skill with this game where it... What is that? Oh, there's just bullets in the box. Scarf. Where it takes me more than one attempt to actually complete a run. So the idea is you have to get a whole bunch of runs, like, sequentially. And I don't know if that's what beats the game. That's definitely how you unlock new weapons. Okay, so this one's spinning. It's not just going back and forth. It's going all around, and that's what's happening. I wonder, could I hack it? I'm gonna risk it. So one thing that you can, so how I've been hacking, you can also do, oh, this is bad. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. That was seconds from disaster. Holy shit. Oh, and there's reflections. I think this game's got full ray tracing, which I like. I'm a sucker for ray tracing, just because of how it makes so many effects that before, you'd only ever see very sparingly, or if it was like they just really wanted to put every little bit of detail into it, that it can just sort of become this standard thing, and I just like it. It really, like, glass reflections were one thing that always sort of, I don't know if I want to say bothered me, but I guess bothered me in video games, that it was, that you never really saw anybody even attempt that sort of semi-transparency, where it's like, oh, you could do like a reflective, but you could do it, but it would have been a lot of work, and especially in the old days, technologically expensive, and now it's just graphics card just does it for you. That pop-in looked great, but so I've still only found one tape. That sucks. How long have I been at this now? 16 minutes? Now some of that's going to be slower because I am streaming. And, oh hey, I found a flashlight. So, I'm not actually that big a lover of how the flashlight... Oh, shit! Oh, okay, so it's just popping up the thing where all the flashlights are dangerous if there's enemies around. And also, the thing is, you might have noticed that when I go to pick up objects in this game, there's like a UI thing, and there's the sound of the woman singing, and so there's not a whole lot of times where you really need the flashlight. Shh. Are you kidding? Why did it skip one? Was it because I cocked the hammer? Oh god. No, that's spent. That was a total miss. Why is this? Wait, so which? Oh, this is the cold, so it's going clockwise. Okay, maybe that's the problem. You can see through. Okay, that one's not. That did nothing. I'm just gonna have to closer, and this is I just risk it. That was bad. That was a mistake. That was a bad hit. Holy shit, no, I'm not dead. Okay, 18. I got one left. So that's hitting the wrong button. Frick. Oh. I didn't extract them all. Oh! You can see me on that side too. I think I'm aiming too high. I don't know. That one's spent. Here we go, my last. This is taking up all of my ammo. Holy cow, am I gonna run? No, I'm not I hit something important. Okay, good. Holy cow. Okay, holy crap. I was guarding a floppy disk. How many bullets? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Holy cow. Oh, that's not my finest moment. Hope I didn't just cycle past one. There we go.
You have seen the signs around you. The gradual creeping, decay, and dysfunction. You have realized that something is wrong with the media and the people around you. You know that you are different.
Oh, God.
This is why you are ready to become a receiver. You have been issued a series of audio cassette tapes that are part of our system for advancing insight.
And the problem with that
By
is
continually listening to
it's
these
not
tapes,
that
you will
accurate
drown out
in
and
this game,
eventually
because,
counteract
oh my
the
lord,
negative influences from
Because
your environment.
of how sites
Once you have
don't line
absorbed
up.
these, you will have to.
I'm dead. That was poor. That was a bad run. But see, you see the problem now, right? That I got 2 tapes of 5. That's okay. Just not the snub dose. Just not this. Here we go. Here we go. We got the precious. We got the precious. Here we go, boys. Here we go. We're going to town now. Another thing that makes the flashlight not super useful is just that the turrets have the blue flashlight illuminating where they're looking. So it's not like you ever need a flashlight to see your enemies by any means. They make themselves very visible to you, except when they're hiding completely behind a corner. And you go around it and you're like, oh shit. Ooh! because I have the safety on, I can actually holster it as quickly as I want. If I tried this with any of the other guns in this game, I would be dead. I would have just died and my run would now be over. So what I'm going to do now is use the Z key, no, not the Z key, the R key to extract all of this magazine, which I'm just going to do because I don't care. Use this one, load it up. You notice that there's no red X's on this one. So I can load it right to capacity. And boom, there we go. Check for round. We got a round in the chamber. Let's go to business. Let's go to business. That's not a phrase. Now, one thing I guess with the semi-autos is I don't actually know exactly how many rounds the magazine holds. Actually, not well, I got cocky. I got cocky because the power of the 1911, and you can't do that. Now I'm back with the frickin' snub nose. And it's got this I hate. I get it because it makes you have to care about your cylinder management more, but you can see there's one of them's. I guess okay, I'll show it off more when I have to extract, because otherwise I would be just dumping out rounds to the ground. And not. No, check the past. Okay, perfect. Is that revolvers can spawn with one of the cylinders welded shut, and that's there's nothing you can do about it. You just have a permanently reduced magazine for that run. And as far as I can tell, maybe this changes later on, but I don't think that I don't think there's any opportunity to pick up new guns during a run. I'm not your gun after you collect all the tapes. I think it does, or it has so far for me, because that's resulted in unlocking a new gun. At the start, you get I'm in the arcade, where there's just naturally blue light. You start with the 2 revolvers unlocked, the Colt and the Smith & Wesson. And, see, that's bad blue light. It's spinning all around. So I'm just gonna take this guy out and hit him in the back. That takes out his gun. He sees me pulling his nab. What are we gonna do? What are you gonna do about this shit nab? That's right, because I just took the that might have been what was causing those weird gaps, was that I gotta be careful not to carelessly cock and decock, because it's associated, the hammer and the cylinder, it's on the same mechanism. So if I were to decock it now, it would cycle past this round. Okay, nothing down here. So on one hand, yeah, I feel like in some ways this game's progression systems exist just to make me eat crow, because I've complained, I don't know ever publicly, but something that I'm not a huge fan of the way of like roguelites in general. I mean, there's exceptions, like I really love Hades. I think that it used that format really well, but I'm not a fan of,
have seen the signs around you.
I don't.
The gradual
I
creeping,
have issues
decay, and
with
dysfunction.
attaching permanent progression to
You have realized
roguelike
that something is
system
wrong
because
with the
to
media
me,
and the
part of
people
the
around you.
idea
You
of
know that you are
roguelike
different. This is why you are ready to
should
become
be
a
that-
receiver.
I
You have
think
been
that
issued a series of audio cassette tapes that are
always
part
should
of
be
our
able to
system
complete
for advancing
the game
insight.
on your first run. Even
By
if,
continually
obviously you're
listening
not
to
done
these
with
tapes,
it.
you will drown out and
But,
eventually counteract the negative
like the classic
influences from your environment.
roguelikes.
Once you have absorbed
They
these
weren't
tapes, you will have
about-
taken the
there was no
first
mechanical
step
progression, it was
towards
all mental
awakening
progression.
your
It's all
true
about
self.
learning the systems
The
and
media is a
internalizing
threat.
and knowing what kind
We
of
have a
stuff
technique to help.
would get you
We use
killed.
tapes as part of this technique.
And I
You
think
must listen to them
the
to advance.
very mechanical progression-oriented design of a lot of modern roguelikes makes it could turn them into just grind fests, where you're basically just going through the motions until the game decides that you've done enough runs that you're allowed to beat the game. And so the way that this game has, it's a progression system, but you lose your progression when you die. And also you're in a dialogue because it's a really hard game. It's like I said, it makes me feel like it's targeted at me as if oh shithead, you don't think permanent progression is good? Here you go, have fun. You gotta do the whole thing without dying once. Good luck. But I don't know. I also feel like I am better at this game than I was Receiver 1. Like I never got anything visible progress in Receiver 1. It was all just repeating the same level over. Oh! I held it! That was not unsafe. Okay. So, where is this damn tape? There it is.
Every single day
Oh
is
shit,
the worst
This
day
is about,
of my
this is
life.
an imminent suicide attempt that I've got.
It just keeps getting worse and worse.
Shit.
Every day, I step over junkies and human waste on my way to my third job just to make a dent in my mountain of debt. The planet is dying. The rich,
Okay, so
the
my
rich
guy's
own
about
everything.
To, this
We
gun
keep
is
killing
about
each
to
other
gain
for
death.
no reason.
So if that's going to be upsetting
I'm ashamed to be a
now
part
would be
of
the
this
time
world.
to sort of check out from the screen
I give up.
for a second. I'll let you know when it's over. But thankfully, I have rendered my game safe, so it'll be fine. Okay, and we are back to the game. Well, that's annoying, because now I have to... Whoa, that's enemy music. That's enemy music. I think that might have played... Actually, no, I think that does play after you survive the psychic attack. Did I come from here? See, that's another problem with... So this game is, it all kind of takes place in this, or at least everything that I've seen, is this same, facility layout, where it's not randomized at all. Where you start is, and enemy placement is, and item pickup placement is, but nothing about the layout is randomized, and I don't mind at all. I think that, how do you make the layouts always good is kind of a core design problem in roguelikes, and that just gets taken to a whole new level in 3D roguelikes. So the fact that this game just doesn't randomize the geometry at all is, I think it's a perfectly sensible design choice. It certainly doesn't hurt the game. The only way that it does... technically not more than one in a tight area, but it's randomized. Oh, god damn. Oh, Rudy. Now you have to restart. They can have up to 3 restricted. Didn't you make a game? What do you mean they... What is... Well, I am working on a game. This is me taking a break from working on my game for New Year's. They can have up to 3 restricted. I don't... Oh, that could be a very old comment. So that's probably the cylinders. Oh, man. 3 oh, that would suck. I've never seen more than 2 restricted cylinders. Oh, got the Glock. So the Glock is actually the first semi-auto pistol that you unlock. Even though I started showing off the 1911, I've got no choice. It's random. So is that got here? Okay. And do I have one in the chamber? Yes, I do. Okay. So this is the Glock 17. It has no manual safety, but I am going to switch it to semi-auto. It's got a full auto feature, which in this game is, or at least against the enemies that I faced so far, is just a waste bullets feature. I think that's also broadly true of fully automatic pistols in real life. What do we got here? Some bullets. The mag. What was the capacity on this magazine? It's like, I can't see the witness holes. They're labeled, but it's too dark. 6? No, 8. Okay, so I do have. Or wait, no, it was backwards. It's Okay, so I have 7. Okay, so that's pretty good. That's actually, that's really good. Can't complain about that at all. That's 7 rounds, plus 1 in the chamber. So I've got 8. I think I'll count down. That'd be a more sensible way to keep track of it. One thing I find interesting about the gun safety mechanics is it seems like it's never dangerous to climb ladders or to jump while holding a gun that's not safe, which is a little weird. I mean, it would, I don't know, maybe the logic behind that choice was that it would interfere too much with gameplay. It would make it too slow. I don't know. I'm just gonna quick check the chat just because I interacted with it a minute ago. I don't know if Rudy is still here. What quality do I have? Okay, I have up to 1080p. Sweet. Okay. That's good. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not just streaming in like... Oh shit, there's one up here. Where is that one? Okay, that one, it's just that it's got long sight lines, so the light can go further. Okay.
You have seen the signs around you. The gradual creeping, decay, and dysfunction. You have realized that something is wrong with the media and the people around you. Know that you are different. This is why you are ready to become a receiver.
So I gotta be careful.
You have been issued a series of audio cassette tapes that are part of our system for advancing insight. By continually listening to these tapes, you will drown out and eventually counteract the negative influences from your environment. Once you have absorbed these tapes, you will have taken the first step towards awakening your true self. The media is a threat. We have a technique to help. We use tapes as part of this technique. You must listen to them to advance.
So some of these balloons you can see are sort of lined up. position. Okay, too much of an angle. Oh, goodness. If you're... Okay. Thank God I didn't die there. I'm gonna be slower for a bit though. I can... Yeah, got them all. Bingo. So I'm just gonna... You know, I wasn't tracking how many... Okay, cool. No, that wasn't what I... Damn it. Because now I'm gonna have only 7... Damn it. No, that wasn't what I meant to do. I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Insert magazine instead. And try to pull it back. And that loaded it right. Yes. Okay. Holy cow. I just me hitting the wrong key and fumbling it.
The body and mind are linked. Physical actions are a manifestation of mental actions. Thus, training to protect the body also protects the mind. Controlling your environment controls your thoughts. You, your body, and your environment are part of a larger whole.
Okay, so first thing, this guy sounds like
Control your thoughts. Control your body. Control your environment. And control your fate.
Therapy. Another magazine. So one thing that's cool with this game, with both receiver games, is how magazines they're not like an ammo. I mean, well, there will be ammo in that, but because you're engaging with the magazine as a mechanical thing. Damn it! I held it. How's chat doing? Tyler B7. Yep, here I am. Welcome to the stream. Happy New Year. Okay, what game do I got now? Okay, Cowboy Time. Smith & Wesson Model 10. Okay, what do we got here? Amp 2. And I think a spent round. So I'm gonna... Oh, I shouldn't be doing that because I'm like pointing it at my feet. So that's another thing, is if you just try to shoot it when you're not aiming it, your guy will just interpret that as, I'm going to shoot myself in the feet on purpose. Okay. Cocking the hammer. Oh, that's the welded one, so is that... There we go. So one thing that, I don't know if I just never noticed in the other game or if it wasn't a thing, but something that I really wasn't aware of, I guess as a thing in real life, is that not all revolvers cycle clockwise. Apparently that's just Colt revolvers. I've never seen a video game revolver cycle counterclockwise, but there's also not a lot of games other than Receiver where that's something I would pay attention to. So you might have noticed that I'm kind of stuck in here. There's no doors out, so I'm going to have to shoot my way out. Or the manual, it seems to imply that you can maybe run through glass if you're going fast enough. Or at least there's some glass. But I have yet to encounter glass that doesn't need to be shot. One thing that in this game that it makes you pay attention to is how revolvers are not self-cocking. And I mean, if you're like a gun expert, that's kind of obvious. That's part of what it means for a gun to be automatic. Like the other half is that it chambers the round for you. But revolver kind of does that, or it makes it part of the. I don't know. I shouldn't talk too much out of my ass about revolvers here when I don't really. Clearly, I didn't even know enough about them to know that they don't all cycle the same way. Should definitely not presume to talk as if I'm an expert when I didn't know that. But the revolver is like engineered in such a way that you don't have to cycle it to chamber the round and cock it separately, but you do have to still do it manually. And I guess strictly speaking, both of the revolvers that I have unlocked are double action, which means that I don't actually need to cock them. It just gives a nicer trigger pull if I do. Like a more responsive is what that like means in practice for this game. That was almost. Well, now just a second. Okay, let me just sort of fool around for a bit here with the double action, because so I think what's sort of happening here, there I was just clicking like as fast as I could. Oh, apparently I'm empty also, so that's not going to help. This one cycles clockwise. Just gotta line it up right. Nope. Nope, this one's the Smith & Wesson. It cycles counterclockwise. It's passed. Holster that. I'm gonna make the jump. Yeah, I gotta mash the W key to run. And that makes it kind of awkward doing a running jump. Don't love it. I know I've defended Grand Theft Auto's hold for like mash to run, but in fairness, in GTA, that's like holding still does like it gives you a jog. You only have to mash to sprint. It's not like this where I'm hitting, mashing the W.
You have seen the signs around you.
Not
The
safe.
gradual creeping, decay, and dysfunction. You have realized something is wrong with the media and the people around you. You know that you are different.
Yeah, there is something there. I don't
This is why you are ready to become a receiver. You You have been issued a series of audio cassette tapes that are part of our system for advancing insight. By continually listening to these tapes, you will drown out and eventually counteract the negative influences from your environment.
Not totally sure.
Once you have absorbed these tapes, you will have
I'm just
taken
gonna-
the
I'm just gonna
first
let it double
step
action.
towards awakening your true self.
Because if I
The
time it
media
right, I don't
is a
just
threat.
forget
We have a technique to help. We use tapes as part of this
it.
technique.
I got cues.
You must listen to them to advance. U.S. Marine Colonel Jeff Cooper's
here we
first
go.
rule of
Gun
gun
safety.
safety is that guns are always loaded. Even if you've just unloaded it seconds ago or seen someone else do it, treat it as if it's still loaded. You may know that it's empty, but you must practice your mind tech threading and believe both facts at once. Unless you are currently seeing and feeling that.
There's another one! Wait, did I get killed by the glass? It looks like... No, it contributed to the damage, but... That was a real bugger of a situation there. I wonder if I will be able to, like, complete even one run, like one level, because I'm on the easiest level, and then it gets harder. They turn out more lights, they increase the enemies. Eventually, there's gonna be like man hacks, basically. So, what have I got here? Let's just disgorge everything. There we go. Perfect. That just happened to. Oh, shoot, where's this buddy? Oh, he's right there. That's not good. There should be another way around. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same layout as receiver 1. Wait, can I go through there? I also gotta watch out for enemies, because that's right here. Did it have one in the chamber? Did it have one in the chamber? Okay. Turnabout is fair play. If I can have one in the chamber, it can too. I don't know. I wonder if it's like loading the dice to give me the same gun a few times in a row. Because, you know, with only 4 guns to choose from, that is very possible. It's not necessarily even that unlikely. Yeah, those are spent. Okay. Now, is this an enemy or is this just blue light? It's just blue light. It's a fake out. The one annoying thing about this game is that, you know, so there I was like slicing the pie, right? Like going around the corner as if I need to shoot at a moment's notice. Well, like most of the time in this game, if you need to shoot at a moment's notice, you already screwed up. You're already dead. There's not that much left. Or you didn't need to have your gun drawn that quick. But that could also just mean that I'm on, you know, level 1. I have no idea. I don't think that I'll be able to shoot through the mesh effectively at all. But I also... think I've got one or two left. Can I not get up there? Where's the ladder up? Okay, I heard singing. Didn't I? Okay, so this is a safe spot. Shouldn't cock it now that I think about it, and I'm not aware of any enemies here. Okay, so it's around here. It's around. Oh, is it up there?
You have seen the signs around you. The gradual creeping, decay, and dysfunction. You have realized that something is wrong with the media and the people around you. You know that you are different. This is why you are ready to become a receiver. You have been issued a series of audio cassette tapes that are part of our system for advancing insight. By continually listening to these tapes, you will drown out and eventually counteract the negative influences from your environment. Once you have absorbed these tapes, you will have taken the first step towards awakening your true self. The media is a threat. We have a technique to help. We use tapes as part of this technique. You must listen to them to advance.
Hitting around a corner that's gonna just ice me instantly. Yes, I did. Right here.
A firearm is simple in some ways, deceptively complex in others, but always dangerous. Gun training anchors the mind in the moment. By apprehending the lethality of the tool and focusing on the moment-to-moment use, a receiver is able to strengthen the mind-body link. Like with ideas, objects in the physical reality vary in their utility. Although some thoughts and tools are extremely dangerous, we don't arbitrarily limit what we can use. Rather, we strive to better understand ourselves and our environment, so that we may safely handle even the most dangerous situations.
Top? Where's the blue light coming from? Is it all? Directly above me. I can hear it. I know that there's others. Pretty sure I've never seen them. Over that way. I guess I need to hack it. Two, so I think there's a good chance that the next one's going to be a suicide tape.
Cooper's fourth rule of gun safety is to know your target and what is beyond it. Bullets can penetrate a lot farther than most people think. How many interior sheetrock walls do you think a typical 9mm bullet will go through? 1? 2? More like 20. In a typical gunfight, more shots miss than hit, but all bullets end up somewhere. Unless you live alone in a rural area, there is no pistol or rifle that won't put your neighbors at risk. Even hollow point rounds often miss or fail to expand. The safest choice for an effective internal home defense weapon in a populated area is a pump-action shotgun loaded with a small buckshot or large birdshot.
The name Cooper is, I don't know, permanently ruined for me, but it's gonna be for a very long time, especially how he's just like, Jeff Cooper is like, oh, like, I don't think Bill Cooper wrote rules about gun safety. If you don't know who Bill Cooper is, I'd say watch the Behind the Bastards episode. The title is at the moment. I think it's The Man Who Killed the Truth. Or you can play my upcoming video game, Silent Weapons Required. Did I hear music back there? Or was that the tape that I just listened to? Also, how many bullets do I have? I've got a good amount. Actually, just saying, I'm gonna be a goofus. I did have 2 spent ones. Okay. The commentary might slow down a bit here because now that I've got 3 tapes, I've got an actual shot at completing a run. Wait, I remember that I was coming up here, but I think I was to go the other way. There's a turret down below. Slow way down just because I don't want to lose a run to Happy New Year to you too, Bubbleman Studios. I do not want to lose a run to fall damage. Why did I just take the gun out when I need to? Yeah, you can't have the gun. Hack. Did I pick up the bullets? Yeah, I thought I did. There's usually a tape around here. Oh, what do you know? Called it. I need to do a reload just because this is one of the annoying things about revolvers in this game. They really do slow down the pace if you're not paying attention. Oh, here's a tape. I'm probably about to watch this be a suicide tape, but I'm gonna have to double my rounds.
While Colt won most of the U.S. military contracts, the Smith & Wesson Model 10 remained the weapon of choice for U.S. police forces until the 70s, when they switched to high-capacity Wonder 9 pistols. The Model 10 did win a few U.S. military contracts, including the Air Force, Guard, and Navy. In World War II, air crews used the Model 10 revolver both for self-defense and for emergency signaling with tracer rounds. In the 20s, police were facing significant resistance by Prohibition gangsters and found that the .38 long Colt round just wasn't strong enough. Smith & Wesson started rechambering their Model 10s for the slightly more powerful .38 Special cartridge, but the converted models were not quite right, and fired cartridges had a tendency to get stuck from the increased pressure and slow down reloading.
That's interesting. Wait, have I been here? Oh, this must have been the one that I destroyed from a distance. I find the mechanical details of guns just so fascinating, and that's definitely part of why I enjoy this game. Oh, here we go. Can't get Randy though. Guess there's one right here. But here we go. I did it.
Many people believe that the brain is the seat of consciousness, yet important thoughts and feelings are carried out in ganglia, clusters of neurons found throughout the body. The mind stretches within the body and controls it. Conditions in the body reflect the mind, and damage to the body is damage to the mind as well.
Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go get a drink. This is a natural sort of stop moment, so I'll actually about to get a fake right. Okay, I am back. Got a drink. Might as well check the chat. All good. Okay, so I wonder if I unlocked a new gun or if I need to actually like reach the next rank. It looks like we'll reach the next rank. Okay, Smith & Wesson Model 10. We are now asleep. Actually asleep. I will never forget. So I actually saw Inception in theaters, totally blind, and that is probably to this day, probably the best movie-going experience of my life. I don't even remember. I think I might have seen like a trailer or something, but I remember when we were kids, my Aunt Julie used to, a couple times a year, would take cousins, like her two daughters and me and my brother and sister, and go see a movie. She was more inclined to go see a movie than either my parents were, just like out of just general interest, not necessarily like, it wasn't like I couldn't afford anything. It was more just that like, oh, do I not have anything chambered? Okay. And I think most of the rest of my... No, I remember specifically, because that's how only reason that I remember that the movie The Sorcerer's Apprentice with Nicolas Cage ever happened was because that was what my sister and my cousin Emily wanted to see. Nice, got three of them in one go. My Aunt Julie and my brother and the younger cousin Lydia, they went and saw Toy Story 3, and I was thinking like, oh man, like I remember like going, I was like, Inception, I remember being like, well, that kind of looked cool, was like, I remember going in thinking, I'm probably gonna regret not seeing Toy Story 3, because it's like, Toy Story 3, I mean, it's Pixar's, and it was Pixar, like, then. So it was like, I was like, this could be fun, but I definitely did not regret. I mean, Toy Story 3 is a great movie. Toy Story 3 is, I think, probably the best Toy Story. I think that you could sort of, there's complaints you could have about how in ways it's just Toy Story 2 again, but I think better. I don't know. I've only actually seen it once, and I've seen the first two Toy Stories a lot of times because we had them on VHS. But I remember that's how I feel about Toy Story 3 at the time. But anyway, I was like, oh, Inception. That I remember. I don't remember, but I remember like that I didn't know what the premise was, because like the opening bit, like when like Sato is like Saito. I don't know if that movie couldn't even decide how it is. He's like, I just they're actually asleep. I was in the theater. I was like, what's going on? And I mean that's one of those things you only really get like once in a lifetime kind of thing to get to experience something like that, truly unspoiled. I also saw Tenet unspoiled. That movie was dumb. I saw Tenet on an airplane just because fuck Christopher Nolan. Just fuck him for making all those people go back to work in the middle of COVID. It's like, oh, you son of a bitch, you want to like, and like not even just the workers, but like, whatever. That's a whole thing I'm not going to rant about now while playing receiver. I could. It's not like there's not a ton to talk about the game in this one. But it's just like, I know the whole Tenet nonsense. I will never see a Christopher Nolan movie in the theater again as long as I live. Like, I like all of his movies. Loved Inception. Dunkirk was really good. Saw that in theater. That was before COVID. Haven't seen Oppenheimer yet, but I do want to. I mean, everybody says it's his best movie, including people who like hate his other movies. I'm okay. Yeah, I still do intend to see Oppenheimer. Like, I don't know, on streaming, might rent it on YouTube. But no, never again in my life will I watch a Christopher Nolan movie in theaters. But Tenet was fun, like a dumb way. It was almost like a spoof of Inception, where it's just like, oh, like the mechanics of it make not a lick of sense. They're like with a temporal pincer. Oh wait, which one of them is like the one that goes first? How can it be that one of them is like, going through first and then giving the other one information? Like, it kind of seems, oh, did I die? No, I'm good. Wow, somehow I lived. But sure was a lot of neat stuff to look at in that movie. Like when he's doing pull-ups on the boat that's going backwards, that was a cool shot. The backwards car chases, that was consistently cool. I found it really funny how, I was going to say the trailers focus on it, but it's also just the actual opening, the introduction to the mechanics of it focuses on the inverted bullets. And it's like you have to catch the bullet, and then that's just not a thing ever again.
Together, we have laid the foundation. You have shown great potential, but the potential is yet to be realized.
Like, that's just not a mechanic
we have
of it.
Sent the
but
message.
I guess you could make the same case about
Can
a
you
lot
hear
of
it? There
dream
is an
mechanics
insidious
from,
force
like, the first act of
moving through your
Inception
media,
don't really come up.
weakening the
But
mind
at least in that
and causing
movie-
widespread
Oh, hey,
dysfunction.
another tape. Thank you for those bullets.
We call this the threat. We have developed a technique called Mind Tech to combat this threat.
I also gotta make sure that this next
A new
cassette
set of
tape
tapes
isn't
has
gonna
been
try
issued
make
to
you
train
die.
and prepare you. This building, this place, it doesn't make much sense. Like, while I know this isn't the same room as before, it still feels familiar. It's more like a fictional place than
Oh,
the
yeah,
real world.
If you don't know what I'm talking
It's-
about, I'll cover it.
It's
in
like
the
someone
one
made
that
copies
happens.
of,
I've
of
heard this
copies
before.
and lost the original intent of all the objects long ago.
At least, so in Inception, the like dream gimmick stuff, they at least explain. Like they say straight up, like, yeah, we can't actually use this on a mission because, you know, it's fine for us because we know we're in a dream. That's the point of what we're doing. But the target can't know that he's in a dream, or, you know, like either one, he'll wake up, or two, it just won't take because of the nature of the mission. So yeah, at least Inception justifies that some of that like gimmick stuff doesn't really come up. That, like, you know, they never fold the city because that would put the subconscious defenses on high alert or whatever. But also just sort of is like Inception had, it feels like a lot more actual, I don't want to say more thought put into it, because I think both movies were functionally like in development for about the same amount of time. I think Inception was probably more like in real terms longer. That was one that he'd had cooking for a long time. And Tenet is a bit more of like a follow-up to it. You know, so it's like a sophomore act. You know, it's always gonna But I also think that's a fundamental problem of time travel fiction, is the more rigorous you make it, that's different. Or have I just never been here before? Yeah, time travel fiction, the more rigorous you make it, the more problems you're gonna have. That's why I think in a lot of ways the movie with the best time travel mechanics is like Back to the Future, because just of how little it explains it. I think Bill and Ted also mostly avoids it. And also Bill and Ted avoids it by having characters who are just not smart enough to understand it. This is new. Damn it. So there is the bit at the end where they're like, oh, like, what if we just go back in time to here afterwards? We can help ourselves out. Anyway, I mean, it's all a joke, because it's not a, you know, you know, it's not necessarily honest to compare Tenet to Ted. Why is this bucket doing that? Nothing else does that. Oh, it's a legitimate physics object. Okay, well, that was spooky, but that, I don't think it was supposed to be spooky. Damn it! Please don't die. Please don't die. Okay. I would be so mad if I died in this, like, elevated state while, like, of a gun mishap. That would be really annoying. This flashlight is really bright for me, and I don't know if that's because of my monitor. Like I mentioned earlier, I got a new Christmas. So yeah, man hacks. Like I'd gotten to a sleep before and I never saw one, so that's annoying. Oh, that's so annoying. So I don't actually understand at this point how the gun unlocks work. I'm guessing that I've unlocked the ones that you can unlock just by getting to a sleep rank. Oh, no locked chambers. That's nice. Actually, you know what? No, that's not a good idea because the glass is right in front of me. That is definitely dangerous to do. I guess like the one good time travel logic moment in Tenet is when like John David Washington is talking to Robert Pattinson and he's like, hey, doesn't all this time travel shit mean that, well, because like the bad guy's plot would effectively end the universe in that movie, and so he's like, well, doesn't the fact that we're still around mean that we win in the end? And Robert Pattinson's just like, I don't know how time travel works. That's like the most honest scene in that entire movie. It's just like, maybe, I don't know, bud. I don't. Also, something crazy is like that, like the fake Russian Superfund site is apparently like a real place in California. Like those like concrete arches and shit. Those are real. Those weren't made for the movie. I forget. It was for some kind of industrial project or something. But try aiming for the batteries, but tape.
To aim a firearm correctly, you must be familiar with the sight picture, how the sights work when they are lined up correctly. Handgun sights almost always work in the same way. You line up the front sight in the middle of the gap in the rear sight, and make sure the top of the front sight is level with the top of the rear sight. If zeroed correctly, the bullet should hit right at the top of the front sight at the zero distance, usually around 15 yards. For maximum accuracy, you should focus on your front sight, even though it makes the target look blurry. There's no point shooting at a crisp target if you can't tell if your sights are lined up. Kill drones don't feel pain, don't feel fear. They will keep trying to kill you until you make it physically impossible for them to function. The surest way to disable them completely is to destroy their batteries, found in the thickest part of the base of turrets or the rear body of flying drones.
Rear body of flying drones? Well, that's a problem when they just fly directly at me. Watch out, stock footage. Mondia. a subscriber of mine. I don't know, maybe if I should maybe like offer some kind of explanation for why I have not like uploaded any kind of consistent content, or yeah, I'll try and talk about that while I look for the tape. So I started attempting a video thing, the steaming pile, where I've still got the like sort of test episode up for it, some of the footage for Flatout 3. Was that what it called? Flatout? I was gonna call it Burnout, but it's not Burnout. Where's the damn tape? It's probably in like this adjoining room. So the idea was gonna be that I would play through this website has like a bottom 100 ranking of games on Steam. And so, you know, it would be like a rip-off of, you know, Search for the Worst, where it's like, oh, these games. But also, the spin was more, I sort of knew that it wasn't like an equivalent to the IMDb bottom 100. A lot of them were normal-ass games that were on the list just because they pissed off their fan bases. And the problem was I probably should have taken that as an indication that the games that I didn't know were there because they pissed off their fans might also just be there because they pissed off their fans. And so the problem is that, like, maybe only about 10 of the games on this Steam bottom 100 list are actually funny in it, or bad in an interesting way to talk about. So, like Flatout 3, I actually recorded a lot of footage for it. I think I wrote up most of the script, do like a scripted review. And the problem, I should check my chair if it's the problem was that, yeah, it was bad. It was, I mean, it was mostly like mediocre. It was like early 2000s shovelware, and I was like, okay, this is like whatever. It's not the best game. It's like, you know, it's like a 4 out of 10. And then, you know, I played Flatout 2, and I was like, oh, this is quite good. I get it now. Why, you know, if you were expecting like a legitimate sequel to a game you liked, and it turned out to be, you know, sold in a jewel case at Walmart shovelware, yeah, you'd be big mad about that. And the problem is that that's almost all of the games. Because the problem is, you know, on something like IMDb, you can rate any movie. You can rate any movie you want. There's no way to verify that you've seen it, let alone, like, paid money to see it. Whereas Steam, they're like, user reviews, they're like owner reviews. And so the problem is that, you know, Steam is full of awful games, but this list, the way that it tabulated it, I don't know the exact formula or if they like specified, but it was clearly, I think it was like games that had the most negative reviews. It wasn't games that necessarily had well, it certainly wasn't games that had the highest proportion of negative reviews, because then as you get to the bottom of the list, and it would be stuff that's over 50% positive. Now, Steam displays that as, like, but, you know, the idea of this being a list of the worst games on Steam, and half of them have more good reviews than bad ones, kind of is like an indicator of it's mostly just games that sold a lot of copies to people who weren't happy about what they got. Like the truly worst, I think, like Uriel's Chasm is the only one that's on the list that is like a proper that you'd expect to be on the list if it could just be, if anybody could vote on any game at all, not just ones that they owned. And I think it's there because I don't even remember if it's free or if it's just very, very cheap. I shot an episode of Uriel's Chasm with my buddy Alec, who I did that Chinese card game one with. That was the test episode. But all the footage was corrupted. So that was sort of, that was what really put a nail in it. Like that was the one game that I thought I could maybe get a halfway interesting YouTube video out of. And then I recorded all of it with like unvarnished reactions. Like, and there's only so much value to a first reaction. And that's never been the kind of content that my channel is. It's never been a reaction channel. All of my stuff has been very, very scripted. But it still was... it was still like a lot of good footage, and then it was all... Well, I don't know what happened, but it was all black. Or it was... Either it was all video and no audio, or only audio and no video. I think it was just audio and no video, where I was like, I could put in like a dozen hours of recording fake footage to match this, but is that worth it? And ultimately I was like, no, it's not. Just because it was, and then, you know what, I don't know if I remember the exact timing on this, but it became pretty clear that that was mostly what the list was. It wasn't games that were bad in an interesting way. And so, sort of the initial conceit, which was supposed to be, I play all these games that have really bad reviews. Are they really that bad? The problem is that for almost all of them, the answer is going to be, well, no, they're not that bad. They just pissed off their fans for one reason or another. And that would be not a very interesting video series to have it constantly. For me to constantly be like, oh, this game isn't awful, it's just mid, when the people giving it negative reviews knew that. They just either reasonably or unreasonably had a higher expectation. And that's just sort of a problem with trying to get that from Steam. And I'm not aware of any other service that would be equivalent to that. I think especially with games, this was always kind of a problem with IMDb bottom number, but it would be so much more of a problem with games that it would be all political. It wouldn't just be, oh, this is like a really bad game. People would be like, we gotta get Depression Quest to bottom 1, worst game ever. Like, it's worthless.
When performing at a peak condition, often the deciding factor is mental state. Ideas have a form and a weight. When you become dedicated to an idea, it takes on a new dimension. It becomes denser, tougher to move, intractable. This tenacious stubbornness is required to become a receiver.
Would make for interesting YouTube videos. I'm just going to check the chat. Nothing. That's fine. I think it's just one person watching now, and that might be me. I don't know. I think YouTube's smart enough to account for that, but no, I mean, I don't really mind if nobody, or if only just one person is watching, because, you know, that's why there's going to be, like, the VOD. Don't mind that at all. Can he see me from this far? I don't think I've been this way because I would have picked up the bullets. I've had different, you know, I mean, that's the thing is, I've sort of moved on to making game, I mean, well, I mean, I've completely moved on to game projects, which none of them have come to fruition yet, but Silent Weapons, I'm very confident that it will. I'm very happy with how far along it is. I don't know, leave a comment either in the chat or in the comments on the VOD if you might be interested. seeing me live stream development of a game. I don't know if I would do that, but I might give it a try. The thing is, like, I'll come up with ideas for, like, oh, that could be an interesting video. Loads of different video essay ideas.
Receivers know that the biggest predictor of success is true grit. The ability to maintain resolve in the face of adversity. The only way to develop this trait is through practice.
But then the thing is, so like recently there was a big Twitter controversy over JRPGs, as there always is whenever anybody with any kind of platform just uses the word JRPG in a sentence. We gotta have the same conversation.
In the face of regret, understand that there was no other way that events could have played out. All you can do is learn from the experience and move on.
There we go. Nice. I ranked up. Okay, good. I've had different ideas where I think it'd be interesting to do a series on just like the concept of genre in general, because I think I looked into it and I don't know if anybody else does that it'd be sort of interesting to talk about, genres in the abstract, especially because what I would want to talk about with the idea of the JRPG is how it's a really good entry point into discussing like really what a genre is and how it functions, because it would sort of start from the idea that the way that a lot of people think about genre as being like a concrete description of a thing, when really, and the point would be that a genre isn't necessarily a set of rules. That's part of it, but basically the point would be a genre is a canon of games, I guess would be the term, like a set of games, like works, like any kind of medium. Safety on. That people agree are in the same genre. And that's vague, but that's how it works. And that would sort of be the idea that ultimately, like, a genre isn't, oh, it has such and such things, or a genre can progress to the point where it's like that. But usually a genre starts out as, like, I guess you could say like an artistic movement, or like a community of creators who are taking influence from each other, and frequently even like just know each other or collaborate, depending. That can depend more on the medium, but you turn around the corner. Hitting V to do I have a one in chamber? No, I don't. I do. So, a really good example of this, in like the purest terms, is like cosmic horror. Cosmic horror, as a genre, begins with H.P. Lovecraft and his buddies writing, or like it really starts with like H.P. Lovecraft writing some stuff, and like fans of his, basically in the like extremely early sci-fi fandom, writing like fanfic basically, similar stuff like to him, and him being like, oh, that's sweet, like, and then incorporating like Derleth stuff back into the Cthulhu mythos. And so like cosmic horror is like a really textbook example of genre formation, of the progression from one person writing a story, or like a set of stories, and other people finding it interesting, wanting to write stuff like that, and them collaborating, and you get interesting overlap between cosmic horror and just general early 20th century pulp fiction, because of course Lovecraft was really good friends with I'm gonna embarrass myself here. His name, the guy who wrote Conan. I want to say Ron Howard. That's not his name. It might be. Is it like Ron, like something? I don't know. His name's not Ron Howard, but he was like really close friends. That's a bit of like classic nerd trivia, right? Is that Cthulhu is canon, or like Conan and the Cthulhu mythos are like canon to each other. Yeah, let's tape here.
To progress in mind tech is to become aware of your own thoughts.
I really think this guy is doing.
Eventually, each thought will become clear and distinct. Solid, incredibly dense, but irregularly shaped. When combined with other specific thoughts in the right pattern, they will fit into place, forming a solid wall of defense.
Okay, good. I holstered. That was a gun accident. If you've just joined the stream, this is a game where sometimes there's just gun accidents. Because I shot that light out. Holy shit! Let's turn the safety on. Just a second. How many bullets do I have? One in the? No, I don't. I think I might be totally dry. Actually, no, I have one. How did I not have one in the chamber? What happened? Okay. This is, I'm getting a little careless. Let's, and get one in the chamber. Good. Safety. Let's put the safety on, just so I don't get myself killed. But yeah, so Cosmic Horror is a really good, just textbook example of how a genre is born from a set of works. And it's also a really good textbook example because it never got huge, or I guess you could say like it got huge so recently that those specific writers, you know, like Lovecraft, August Derleth, like, I know there's other ones, I don't remember them. I can't remember them by name though. That it's such a limited genre that the original texts are such a huge influence specifically that even though you absolutely can break down cosmic horror, and people have broken down cosmic horror into the like philosophical elements of like the smallness of humanity, or you know, the like perception of reality. It's still really dominated by the originals, by the original canon. And what I would compare that to in like the video game genre would be the Metroidvania, or especially Souls. Shit, how did that not seem? Souls-likes, where it's this, in some ways, flourishing genre, but it's also one that is very strongly defined by a very restrictive canon of examples, where you know, like what makes it a canon is just like people agreeing that that is an example. But you know, so those are examples of you know, genres that are still like very, I guess, limited. You say very, still defined by a very limited canon. And then you get something like the Western, which is a lot more, you know, when people think of a Western, they don't think, oh, if it's like a Clint Eastwood movie, that's what makes it a Western. You know, like it's, people don't think about it in those ways because the canon has gotten so big that it becomes about, you know, what are like the similarities between them? What is something that makes it? And so it's like, well, it's so, because there's been so many of them, it's so broad that it's like, well, the only thing they have in common is being set in this region of the United States of America, to some extent Mexico. You know, to the point that, you know, you can have a discussion of whether Django Unchained should count as a Western, when in every, like, aesthetic way and in all of the clear influences that it has, like, Django Unchained is objectively a Western, but it's set in the South, and that's legitimately kind of important, because in a lot of ways, and this is something that comes up a lot because the Western is so influential, I should say the Western, right? Many Westerns have been so influential that if you were to say, well, it doesn't need to be set in the West to be a Western, then it's like, well, then Star Wars is a Western. Then, you know, is Dirty Harry a Western? It becomes, because you can make legitimate arguments. So like, are the Fallout games Westerns? There, you can very strong, are all post-apocalyptic, is post-apocalyptic fiction in general a subgenre of the Western? You could make that case. I don't think that's, I would not make that case, at least not in a way to convince someone that, because I don't think that. But that's part of the problem of that genre being so broad that it winds up being legitimately defined by details that are kind of superficial, that are not really why people are there. And that's part of why mix it with a Western is such a common, cliche, hybrid genre, because these like plot structures and themes and archetypes and all kinds of stuff from the Western, you can take and just transplant it into a different setting, and legitimately it stops being a Western, which is, I don't fully know what that says about genre, but I definitely enjoy thinking about it.
If your friend makes a joke about hurting themselves, it might just be that, a joke. Or it might be their last cry for help before they are killed by the threat.
If you're just joining us,
Get them alone later, ask about it, and really listen to their answer. It's probably nothing, but in this case, it's so much better to have 10 false positives than one false negative.
It's a legitimate game mechanic also. So, I don't know, I think this is part of the broad theme of gun safety that this game has, is that it makes suicidal ideation a game mechanic, which is interesting. Obviously, it's going to be, you know, not to everybody, like, you know, there's going to be people who are uncomfortable with that. The game tells you straight up, hey, heads up, and it even lets you turn it off, which is interesting. You know, it really is a game mechanic, but it's also not, like, you know, I mean, I don't think that ruins the game at all that you can turn that off as like an accessibility feature, basically. It's just too much, like, just, oh! Damn it! Damn it! Ranked down again. How close was I even? It's just 2 tapes. I wasn't that close, but it's still annoying. Maybe I should just stream more like this, because this way I can at least talk about that kind of stuff that I find interesting, that I try and write a video essay about it, and then I'm like, I'm not totally, like, I come up with an idea for a video essay, and then I start writing the script, and I'm like, oh, am I really that confident that I have something truly worthwhile to say about it? Like, I had a really strongly negative reaction to the campaign of Modern Warfare 2, of like new Modern Warfare 2, and I really I was like, I could do, well, maybe I should write a video essay about this, like do some kind of like make a YouTube video about this. But I kind of stopped when I was like, you know what, well, Jacob Geller's Call of Duty video, am I really saying anything that he didn't already? Like, do I have... Yeah, it's like, do I really have anything like new to bring into this discussion of... Oh, here we go. Back with the classic. Oh shit, I dropped the magazine. This is a BB gun, it's not airsoft. Which unfortunately makes it just like, I don't know, purely by being not at all a toy, that actually winds up making it kind of purely a toy. Like, it's like I can't, what am I gonna shoot with a BB handgun? It's like targets, but I mean, but I knew I wasn't gonna, even if this wasn't airsoft gun, I wasn't gonna go do airsoft with it. Just like the mechanical, it's actually metal, it's got the weight, it's just very satisfying in the hand. It's got all the different like controls, even if they don't all do anything. Like it's got like the grip safety is like on a spring, but it doesn't actually, like, you can pull the trigger without the grip safety engaged. It's like, it's just there for fun. I don't know if it would have been too hard to model it or what. Got a Canadian Tire. No, I don't want to do that. I think I checked it. It's not cocked. No, there's not nothing in the chamber. No, there's still nothing in the chamber. Still nothing in that one. Oh. Well, because there's no magazine in it. That would do it. There we go. I don't know what, like, how long I'm supposed to, like, pull back the slide if I'm not doing it right, because I will like pull it back and hold the slide button, but then that won't do it, and then I just sort of tap it and that does work, but that time it didn't. Why am I? The flashlight's not. Flashlight's not super useful for anything. I just had to take it out. Come on, look away. Oh, I hate the lag. I hate how you can get shot and then move, and then it's like, oh no, you're dead. Like, because there's no health bar or anything, it's really frustrating. When you can maybe think that you have a chance, and then no, you don't. And now you have this piece of Shit. Okay. So I kind of started like hashing out a script about like, you know, what is a JRPG? Like, what does it mean? Like, because it's clearly not just a role-playing game made in Japan. Like any reasonable person, I don't know if am I just getting? Well, that's the thing. It's not that I really care about like getting my specific opinions out there so badly, because I don't really feel a strong need to be like articulate it now, because I don't think it's that. But I mean, like, obviously, I think like to articulate like a JRPG is like it's a Square or Enix RPG. Like the kind that they made for the Super Nintendo and PlayStation. Or really, it's just like the Super Nintendo stuff that's the real because the thing is, you know, there were... Oh, no, that's not what I want. Like, FromSoft, they've been making... They're Japanese. There's Japanese as they come. They've been making RPGs this whole time, and they're certainly not what anybody is talking about when they call something a JRPG. They're not talking about Kingsfield. Where's that tape? Oh, the singing got quieter. It's not up this way. Part of the problem is that like the discussion gets so fraught. Because on the one hand you have shitheads who haven't played. Wait, I killed it. Because on the one, because you get shitheads. Disagrees with my take. I never found the tape. So like, so yeah, JRPGs, the discussion gets toxic so fast because you just have like on both sides people being wildly disingenuous.
You have seen the signs around you.
Or just
The
ignorant.
gradual creeping, decay,
But
and
that's really
dysfunction.
it's just a really
You have
acute
realized
example of a
that
broader
something
pattern
is
of
wrong with the media
Twitter being a
and the people
horrendous
around you.
website to discuss anything.
You know that you are different.
I was
This
gonna
is
say
why
with
you
nuance,
are
but
ready
just-
to become
that's
a
it.
receiver.
That's a perfectly valid sentence.
You have been issued a
Just
series
leave
of
it right
audio
there.
cassette
Twitter is
tapes
just a
that are
really
part
bad
of
website
our
for
system
discussing
for advancing insight. By continually listening to tapes, drown out and eventually counteract the negative influences from your environment.
Bullets left to do a
Once
full
you have absorbed these tapes, you will have taken the first step towards awakening your true self. The media is a threat. We have a technique to help. We use it as part of this technique. You must listen to them to advance.
I was gonna turn it on. I didn't realize it was already on. Shit. And so yeah, so you have like people who actually are like just being pig ignorant, xenophobic. You have people who are really just looking to score Twitter clout points. And you also add to the mix, you add Kurt Angle to the mix. And your odds of useful discourse drastically go down. No, and you have the added problem of trying to, because then you'll get people who are tempted to try and define what an RPG is. And that is the most cursed, that is like the most cursed discussion you can have at like discussing video game genres. So like, what's a role-playing game? Because if we're to sort of go back to like my general thoughts on genres, I think I was done anyway, so I don't mind that I died there. It's and this is sort of a problem with like general, if we're like trying to discuss genre in terms of tropes and like rather than influences. I think like if you sort of take, I do and don't want to call it my genre theory, because I think that it is just like the mainstream understanding of genre, about it being like a set of influences. But I also don't see, that's the thing, is I feel like, if I say it's my genre theory, well no, it actually is it's just genre theory. But if I just say, it's genre theory, then well, no, that's just my interpretation. I feel like no matter how I describe it, I'm gonna wind up either being ridiculously arrogant or either way, I'd be saying something ridiculously arrogant by calling it my genre theory. But like, let's call it the influence-based understanding of genre. You can say, well, it's games that are specifically taking influence from tabletop role-playing games, and we can, like enumerate which games, like Dungeons and Dragons is the big one. There's other ones. There'll be some influence probably is going to be there from like Call of Cthulhu, maybe some Vampire the Masquerade, but it's going to be like mostly Dungeons and Dragons. And so you have all these different game designers in like the mid to late 80s all tackling the same question of how do we translate the experience of playing Dungeons and Dragons into a video game, and coming up with wildly different interpretations, where you'll have, what would be an example would be like adventure games came from like interactive fiction, which in some ways I think that there's like elements of interactive fiction which are totally, I guess you'd say, native to video games as a medium, that go back to like to even to the 70s. Like really, as soon as the technology existed to do any kind of interactive media whatsoever, people were attempting interactive fiction. So there you get stuff like Caper and the Castro. That's a really early example. But then you also have like a different kind of strain of interactive fiction, like, which I guess is how you'd classify like the early Zork games, that like the sort of text-based RPGs, where they kind of settled on being interactive fiction as the means. That's not what I wanted to. Oh, I meant to. As like the way of presenting a role-playing game. So it's, you know, they're not digitizing, or their primary thinking isn't to digitize like the combat, the like turn-based. It's like the experience of, you know, the dungeon master telling you this story in the second person, asking you what you do. That's what something like Zork is going for in terms of translating a role-playing game into like video games. And then you have stuff like, I think, like wizardry, or like the stuff that the JRPGs were drawing on, that were like, let's digitize the combat, and the rest of the stuff will be a bit more, I don't know, like loosey-goosey with. We'll sort of go between them, and because some of that is also, you're not even just, it's not like, you know, if you were to digitize a board game or like chess, you know, you just translate the rules directly to it, and I honestly, it's not just, you might say, well, you can't do it in this case because unless you are one of the companies that, or you know, unless you have like the license for Dungeons and Dragons, you can't just replicate the rules. That's going to be a crime, and so you're making your own. But it's also like, different people are going to have very different experiences of what it means to play Dungeons and Dragons, depending on how their group and their dungeon master, like how they, what they choose to focus on, like whether they're mostly interested in, you know, the storytelling experience, whether they're interested, you know, whether it's about, like, the dungeon master is going to tell them an interesting story, or like, and they sort of react within it, whether it is about the party just going on some crazy adventure that they make up on the go, whether it's about, you know, we don't really care, there's not going to be any kind of story, we're not going to be making meaningful decisions, we just want to just dungeon crawl. And those are all, you know, they're like wildly different experiences, but they are all
You have seen the signs around you. The gradual creeping, decay, and dysfunction.
So there are,
You have realized that something is wrong with the media and the people around you.
A whole
You
bunch
know
of
that you are
genres,
different.
all born from different
This is why
interpretations
you are
of the
ready
same
to
one
become
game
a receiver.
that now,
You
later
have been
on,
issued a series of
we've
audio
decided
cassette tapes that are part of
retroactively are all
our
the same
system
genre.
for advancing insight.
And
By continually listening to these tapes, you will drown out and
JRPGs
eventually
are especially
counteract
problematic
the
for that
negative
because
influences
it
in your
reaches
environment.
words.
Once you have absorbed these tapes, you will have
Sorry.
taken the first step towards
Because
awakening
now, once
your
you involve
true
it being
self.
like a question of people from different,
The
like,
media
cultural,
is a threat.
like,
We
different,
have the
like,
technique to help.
different
We use
backgrounds
tapes as part of this
interpreting things
technique.
different ways. Now it's a
You
political
must
question.
listen to them to
Now
advance.
it's like, well, what does it mean?
To aim a firearm correctly, you
If,
must be familiar with the sight picture of how the sights look when they are lined up correctly.
Talk about, like, oh,
Handgun
like,
sights
the
almost always work
Japanese,
in the same way.
like,
You line up the
RPG
front
style,
sight in the
like,
middle of the gap in the rear
I
sight,
kinda hate
and
this in
make
general
sure
when
the
people
top of the
talk
front
about,
sight
like,
is
oh,
level
this game was
with the
made
top
by
of the rear
Japan.
sight.
It's like, well, no, Japan-
If zeroed
Japan
correctly,
didn't make
the bullet
anything.
should hit right at the
Japan
top
didn't
of the
make this
front
video
sight
game.
at the
Some
zero
game developers
distance,
who lived in
usually
Japan made
around
this thing.
15 yards.
And yeah, they're going to be influenced by the
For
culture
maximum
around them, but
accuracy, you should focus on your front sight. It makes the target look blurry.
that
There's
one had
no
backup.
point shooting at a
That
crisp
was
target if you can't tell if your sights are lined up.
So, holy shit. Yeah, just the broad thing where it's like people talk about like, and it's not just like, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, like they're just doing it just because they're like racist. It's like when you have like such a cultural difference, you are gonna notice the differences and the commonalities. They're gonna pop out. But the problem is, we're not just talking about like a, what's going on here? Why can I not eject the magazine? Holster weapon. It's got a magazine. Or it does it? like earlier I was talking about how yes, it did. Where did it go? Did I drop the mag? Double feed. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? In some cases, the extractor can fail to grip the spent cartridge, causing the next cartridge to get stuck behind it. If the slide won't close and the magazine won't come out, you probably have a double feed solution. Clear double feed. You start by pulling back the slide and manually locking it backwards. Hold R, hold T, release R, and pull the magazine out hard. Okay, so press slide lock. It's blind, but it is still dangerous. I don't think I really have anything more to say on the subject of JRPGs. Oh, but it's probably still got one in the chamber, so I gotta be careful. That's the thing, it's like... And this is part of the problem, you can't like discuss shit on Twitter with any kind of nuance, because, you know, it's like, yeah, there's lots of people who are just being ignorant shitheads, who just look down on something for being Japanese. But people are also just allowed to not like a genre of game. And I think, and it's not like observing that there are these turrets. You know, it's not. The problem is people trying to argue that it's like, oh, like JRPG isn't a thing.
Kill drones don't feel pain, don't feel fear. They will keep trying to kill you until you make it physically impossible for them to function. The surest way to disable them completely is to destroy their batteries, found in the biggest part of the base of turrets or the rear body of...
Gotcha. I don't know. I just... I can't understand you over the game sounds, lol. Hi, White Booth. Like just like the game sounds in general, or specifically when I'm like shooting a gun and close to the tape that it's singing, like just always ever, or just then? Because yeah, this is a loud game when there's action happening. But if you just generally can't hear me, I do want to know about that. Still here. Happy New Year to you too, neighbor DX. Can you hear me? Like, is the audio good? I'd be kind of annoyed if this whole time I've been inaudible and the VOD isn't going to be worth anything. Can you hear me? Is the audio working? Chat, can you hear me? I would really like somebody to. Because Wyatt's comment has me really concerned now. No, there's multiple people watching. Can you please, somebody in chat, please say if you can hear me? I'm not going to continue playing the game. Did I not pause the game? Because it's still... Putting my hand up to... Oh, crap. I didn't actually pause the game. Okay, good. Good. Okay, I gotta find this tape now. Where is this tape?
Receivers know that the biggest predictor of success is true grit, the ability to maintain resolve in the face of adversity. The only way to develop this trait is through practice.
That away. Let's take those out and drop it. I don't really care. I don't need a limited mag. And I'm not going to be swapping mags. I'm not at the point where that's... No, that's... Ever actually be in that situation in this game, I would just be dead. And load it up. Here we go. One in the chamber. Yep, one in the chamber. Perfect. Let me check the chat again real quick. Okay. So, I don't want to talk about JRPGs anymore. There's the tape. Okay. This is it. I did it.
The most important virtue of a receiver is mental resilience, and the only way to build resilience is to practice rebounding from adversity.
Okay, I'm getting better. I am ranking up more. So that's just... So if you're new, and if you don't know what this game, I need to have 2 mission successes in a row. Oh god. Oh shit. So yeah, the Cult Detective Special, not very accurate. It's do I at least have all of my chambers to... No, I don't even have all my chambers to work with. Are those spent? No, okay, they're fresh. Let's do this. I have yet to kill a single flying drone. Yet to score that kill. If I was gonna do YouTube videos again, it would be like something totally different. Or like, I think there's different ideas I've had for like historical
do YouTube videos about historical content. That's another thing that I find really interesting. And like not a specific era. Like the idea would be that it's like across all of history. God, it's so dark. Yeah, sorry if my commentary is probably going to be not as good in this bit, because the tension is now actually on. Am I totally dry? Ah, shit. So, yeah, the tension is now actually on. Because I have to get 2 wins in a row to, or at least I'm pretty sure that I have to get 2 wins in a row to actually unlock any new stuff at this point. I got a sealed chamber there, so quick discharge on that. Oh, fuck. That wasn't even a systematic thing. That was, I just clicked when I shouldn't have. I cock the hammer. God, this is... Fuck. Not going down the hole just yet. Oh, yeah, there is a turret up ahead. There it is. It's... So one of the things is this works as visual cover, but I am not at all convinced that anything here is going to be effective, like physical cover, if I need to. Shit. Okay. Oh no. I fired 2 shots. I'm hitting the H key, I guess, for holster. That's not the... Okay. I just, I'm gonna quick check the chat. I wanna keep an eye on it. Okay. My digital character. Oh! How did I not? There's no blue light. Oh my god. Maybe I walked into it without thinking. This is the night. Shit. There we go. I think I took out its magazine. I think it used the one in the chamber. somebody down below. Drop any bullets at all? That sucks. I haven't got any tapes yet. This is not a good run. Oh, this is so cursed. I haven't seen any blue light. So that's good. Holy, holy, holy. That was a loud beep. Wait, is he just always looking at me? You can't be serious. But that means that I will have a clean shot at him. Maybe. I just didn't do it right. Oh god, 4 shots. Which is exactly enough. Fuck. I do not like this. At all. You know what? I think I'm gonna nope out of this one. Oh, I can't. This isn't the floor that I can. There's no call button. That's cool. Oh, that looks like a flying one down there. That's good. Oh my god. Haven't got a single tape yet. I have the gun with the shortest range. This is... And this is like... This is a for keepsies one too. 2 more shots. I have one more. Sprint across here. Bullet. I need bullet. Come on, give me bullet. Give me bullet. Oh my god, no bullet. No bullet at all. What am I gonna do? It's not not permanently looking this way. Can I get up to it and hack it in time? I don't have any other choice. I'm dead. Oh, I got some Happy New Year D-Stacks. Hope your bad reviews. Happy New Year to you too, Toy Butt Fertles. That beard, oh thanks. Yeah, I haven't trimmed it in a while. My hair is even more out of control. Thanks. I'm gonna guess that your name is supposed to be pronounced Stony Baloney. Is that like the pun? That's pretty clever. Yep. For the record, I guessed it was Stony Baloney before you said that in the chat. The lag is gonna, you know, I don't think there's any way of proving that, but okay, I'm gonna go back to getting killed again. Cowboy time. Like this is the shits of it. Is that? Well, what's that over there? Come on. That sounded like a snake. Is that like a special? The mongoose. Wait, maybe it was a snake sound. Yeesh. I might as well just quickly check. Yeah. Okay, so. What do we got here? What do we got? It looks all good to me. Oh, that's a problem though, because whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, and you know, I was sort of talking earlier about, you know, thinking about like video ideas and sort of why I haven't ever made any of them. I should also probably say, like, in terms of bad reviews, part of the reason why I just don't really have any interest in continuing that is I'm just not into bad movies the way that I once was. And a lot of that was a function of having that was sort of back when my friends from school were still living around the Stratford area, and my brother still lived at home, and it could be more of a I don't even give a shit. I guess this counts part of the same run, not that it matters. Just 1 sec, I'm gonna
I made some lunch, that's all.
okay. Oh, God. Cool. Foyer de Bois Vert. I think that's a reference to the monster I'm drinking. Star Cat. My French is so rusty. Like it's not even fair to say it's rusty, because that would assume that I ever was even conversant in French. I'm just, you know, a Canadian who went to school baseline, but retained almost none of it. It's starting to remind me of the original receiver, and not in good ways. In terms of how it's just like so aggressively punishing. Like, I don't know, maybe is the idea that I'm supposed to just learn the layout better, and so it's less of a problem when there's turrets in positions that suck, that I can outmaneuver them, because way too often when the difficulty gets bumped, or the gyros, I don't know. I hit the gyro, cool. Okay. I'm just gonna reload. What's there? Does he have a buddy? No, but I do need to be careful here. Or at least make sure that I'm standing behind. Okay. I don't know if maybe I am just being sloppy, but I feel like I'm always holding in the tab. So I don't know what's causing these incidents. I think I might stop the stream before too long, because I'm starting to get frustrated with the game. I might stream more later a different game, or I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might not stream, I might work on silent weapons. I don't know. I'm just I just don't want to like. This is a cool game. I really enjoyed the just the basic gameplay mechanics of it, but I also so I don't want to like burn myself out on it by just bashing my head up against it repeatedly, because that's one thing that I think is one of the biggest things I learned playing like Dark Souls, and especially Sekiro, is that like if you play past the point of frustration, you know, your performance is gonna suffer. You're like you start doing worse, and then it's a vicious cycle. You just get more and more frustrated. Because you do worse because you're frustrated. Oh, shit. Did I get the win? I'm dead. Tape 0. I'm gonna try one more run, and I'm gonna take a break, and I'm gonna. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now we're cooking with gas. We're cooking with gas. We're cocked and locked. Okay, what do I got? What do I got here? We got one in the chamber. We got one in the chamber. What's the mag situation? Nope, I didn't mean to do that. Nope, that was no. Wait, is that? Oh, there is no. Oh, well, that's not gonna help because that mag was empty. Or was it? Do I have one in the chamber or not? Oh God. I do. I did put one in the chamber, so that was dangerous. What I just did. Okay, cool. Engage the safety. I'm gonna turn the safety off. Safety always off. I think it might have even been. I think I'll have to look it up on the the Internet Firearms database. What? Because I think Cyrus's gun was a 1911, but I don't know. Could have been an M9. I'm sure it was. A BB gun or something like mine, like that the prop was, because I don't think the early seasons, I don't know if they would have had like the budget to get like a permit to use a real handgun. Or I don't know, maybe handgun laws were different. That show was from the I think those seasons would have been the late 90s or early 2000s, I'm not sure. But I don't think it's ever been easy to get a semi-automatic handgun in Canada. I don't know. I wonder what would happen if I shoot the Newton's Cradle. The slow-mo guys. I'm gonna do it just because I'm at the. Yeah, it worked. That's sick. Man, people are sure are doing a lot of moving in this hotel room. So I mean, I guess this, it's not. It's like apartments or something, but I don't know. This just has hotel room vibes. I'm living in a place like this. I'll just quickly check the chat. Why not? Have a little bit of Friday Wiggly. Oh, Starcat, cat in a box. Nice. Friday Wiggly. What's my New Year's resolution? I don't make New Year's resolutions, but I guess I don't know if it's my default. I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm committed to actually finishing and releasing Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. I just yesterday, literally about an hour before midnight, figured out the utility that lets me upload a build to Steam. So it's in the queue now. So I guess this is a bit of drama. But if I twat. That's such a good. That's a really good H-bomb. I think it's H-bomb. Yeah. As the past tense of tweet. Sorry. Basically, when you're putting a game on Steam, there's this whole submission process where you show your store assets, and that's going to include a trailer and it's going to include a trailer, screenshots, all that normal stuff. And the trailer that I included on my store page was the same one that's like the teaser trailer that I posted to YouTube. And something you might remember that was in it, I sure didn't when I submitted it, was a big old swastika in like the montage of satanic symbols, which I think this is just, I don't know, for me it's like kind of a classic example of me not really thinking about how a joke is going to come off because I forget that other people aren't inside my mind. Is that in the original video that's from, or it's showing this list of, it starts with the pentagram, and again, that's a satanic, it's examples of like satanic graffiti, because it's from a video that is, it's like satanic ritual, or like, it's the video is like Satanism for law enforcement, which that sounds metal, but that's not, it doesn't mean it like that. And it's like this completely preposterous video that I think they covered it on Best of the Worst. I found definitely like 2 or 3 videos that were on Best of the Worst, I think like Wheel of the Worst, when I was just searching for like conspiracy footage to put in this trailer. I sort of typed like Satanism YouTube, and one of the results is this video. And so the context of it is, and the joke is that in the video, it's like they're going through the symbols that you might find in graffiti. That was such a lag. Okay, I'm gonna do one more run because I'm actually like talking about something relevant to my life and like to my projects that you might care about. Do one more run while I talk about the game. So it's like in the video, it's this like it starts. So it's like here's like satanic symbols, or if you find this graffitied in the park, that's evidence that satanic crime has occurred. Like, they like sacrifice a baby and then paint a pentagram as like a freaking Blue's Clues. Like, that's the idea. And, oh, that's my time to get ready for work alarm. I don't work today though. So it's like this. That's the idea. It's like this list of satanic graffiti, and so it starts with like the pentagram, where it's like, okay, that's kind of the symbol, and then there's like I think like a voodoo symbol, where it's like, that if you see that, that's probably not what that means. I would think that might be like if like a gang adopted it, like, and then it goes berserk, or then it's like the Anarchy A. It's like, well, there's overlap. There's gonna be overlap there. But again, you also gotta keep in mind that when we're talking about like Satanists in this context, we're not talking about any real people. We're not talking about like neo-pagans or Wiccans. We're talking about this completely unhinged conspiracy theory that like imagines that like real devil worshippers from the Middle Ages have this like ongoing priesthood, like this secret religion. It's total nonsense. But anyway, so then they're going through these symbols, and then so it gets the Anarchy A. It's like, okay, that doesn't make sense. And then the next one is the swastika, and it's just like, if you find a swastika spray painted, that doesn't mean that's not the Satanist thing. That's like, that's like you got a Nazi gang or just a Nazi person, or just who knows, like it's not a satanic symbol. And that was like why I included it in the trailer, because I'm like, oh, this is hilarious. It's like preposterous. Like it shows how it's just like a really neat little encapsulation of the ways that of like how the satanic panic was, whether consciously or not, was like employed to distract from other, real problems. Where it's like, like people aren't worshiping the devil, but there sure are real Nazis out there. Like, but that's maybe the problem is that Nazis are a right-wing threat. That they're like, oh, like that's not they're fine. It's not a problem. oh, like, but Satanists, it's like, it's a left-wing threat, so we gotta roll everything into that. And so it's like, it's not just, and that's part of why I was like, that's gotta go in the trailer. Because it's not just really, really funny, it also is kind of a microcosm of you know, why the Satanic Panic happened. Like, why people needed to believe in a thing like that, you know, when they did. That, oh, you know, there's gotta be this, like, subversive threat to society. But it's not any of the actual, like, subversive threats. We gotta make it a real one that's more flattering to our politics. Okay, I guess I'm doing another run, because I'm still talking about this. And so that's why there's a swastika in the teaser trailer for my video game, because it doesn't have Nazis or anything in it. But like, I just totally forgot, and that's a problem, because you still can't have swastikas in video game stuff in Germany. Like, I think even my understanding is that, you know, it used to be no, never, not under any circumstances. There's been some legal reforms, but it basically means that, like, video games are, in theory, protected by freedom of speech. But the way that, like, hate symbol laws work in Germany is it's still, like, a case-by-case thing. Whereas, you know, in the States, when video games were ruled to be protected by First Amendment laws, then it was, like, that sort of opens the floodgate. Because the way that, you know, that American freedom of speech laws work, it's very much like a presumption of innocence. It's like, that's part of why it's so hard to sue for defamation in the States, because there is, like, you know, that you have to prove, like, the plaintiff has to prove that the defendant knew that they were, like, saying something that was true. I mean, say that they was saying that was false, or they didn't give a shit if it was true, and they did it specifically to slander you, like, and basically the consequence is that, like, in Germany, like, basically, like, theoretically you could have a swastika in a video game, but I think that the way that works, like, for all media really is if you need to, like, apply, it's like a negotiated thing. It's not just, you're not just categorically okay with it. It's, you need to, like, I think it's like, that's my understanding, and I could be totally wrong, but I think that you'd still need to, like, specifically apply for permission. You're not just allowed to do it by default. It's, you are now allowed to ask for permission. And so, like, stuff like Wolfenstein, or even the Hearts of Iron games that are very, they're very historically based, still just don't do it. Because, well, Hearts of Iron, they don't do it. That's a more specific to them kind of situation that they're in with regards to their fandom. But, like, the Wolfenstein games in Germany still don't, because I think that, or from things that I've heard, like, that the people who would approve it or disapprove it, like, you kind of need to make the case that there's a good reason why you have to, like, have the swastika in your thing. Wait a second, why did this, what did I press that made that happen? Oh, maybe it's just like that you need to, like, actually have a good reason why you'd have to use it, and the Wolfenstein games just wouldn't. That basically they would be told no. That they'd be like, no, this is just schlocky entertainment, and I don't know, if the idea is you gotta prove why you need it, like, I don't know if it is just purely that the Wolfenstein games would be told, no, like, this is just schlocky entertainment, or, you know, if it's a question of, do you need it, because it would, if it's a question of needing, it would definitely hurt their case that for all these years they've used substitute symbols like the Wolfenstein logo instead of the swastika, because that would
You have seen the
Why it
signs
matters to
around
me
you.
is
The
that
gradual creeping,
person at Valve
decay, and
saw my
dysfunction.
Steam page and actually watched the
You have
trailer
realized
and
that
saw the
something
swastika
is
and everything.
wrong with the
That
media
triggers a
and the
process,
people around you.
with Steam
You
approval,
know that you
where
are different.
they now need to,
This
like,
is why
actually
you are
play
ready to
the
become
game.
a receiver.
And
You have been issued a series of
before they
audio
can
cassette
approve
tapes that are part of our system for advancing
I, like, resubmitted,
insight.
saying like, hey, like,
By
I
continually
didn't
listening
even
to these
realize this
tapes,
was a
you
problem
will
because
drown out
they're-
and eventually
the game
counteract the
does not
negative
discuss the Nazis
influences
bad.
from your
Like, for one
environment.
thing, like, it's about conspiracy theories.
Once you have
but
absorbed these tapes, you will have
straight
taken
up,
the
right from
first
go,
step
I
towards
said,
awakening
alright, was
your
like,
true
it's not
self.
gonna be, there's not going to be anti-Semitic conspiracy
The
theories
media
because
is
it's
a
not
threat.
funny. Like,
We have a
you
technique
know,
to
it's
help.
one thing in my
We
mind
use tapes as part of this
to have a
technique.
game where, you know, you're playing as the
You
Freemasons,
must
you're playing as
listen
the
to them
Jesuits, you're
to
playing as the
advance.
Majestic 12. That's all in good schlocky fun. I don't think that it's all in good schlocky fun to have a video game where you're playing as the learned elders of Zion. I don't think that that's good. I think that that's, you know, the game is going to be in slightly poor taste, but I think that crosses a line where I'm not okay with making light of that kind of those conspiracy theories specifically. And part of the reason why there's also just not going to be any discussion of the Nazis is because it is specifically a game about, you know, conspiracy theories from the 90s. The 90s conspiracy culture, that wasn't a thing that they were thinking about. Like, you know, the Fourth Reich would be a pretty clear-cut, obvious idea for a conspiracy faction, but for, you know, pretty obvious reasons, that wasn't something that the militia moved. That wasn't something that Timothy McVeigh was losing any sleep over, because that was his, like, victory scenario, right? Like, so it's just not, it just doesn't fit. Like, so yeah, there's not going to be any kind of Nazi imagery in the game. There's not going to be swastikas. There's not going to be any discussion of Nazis at all. And so I put this, like, saying, hey, like, you know, I made a whoopsie and I made a special cut of the trailer. Check the chat, see what chat has to think about my little whoopsie doozles. Oh, just to reference some Stony Baloney about the Satanism for Cops episode. So, you know, I resubmit and I include a note saying, hey, like, yeah, whoops, but there's not swastikas in the game. Please don't need a playable build.
Past events that have caused
Because
recurring negative thoughts and emotions are called mental trauma. This was often the result of a sudden shift in perception. The building blocks of our self-concept are ideas about the world and our place in it. When these ideas turn out to be false, it causes a change that can threaten every aspect of our life. While removing one brick from a tower can cause it to collapse, that does not mean that the problem was widespread. It was a failure in a single element.
By having that swastika, like, I've, like, triggered
This demonstrates how critical each belief is, and how finding and removing false beliefs early can prevent a catastrophic chain reaction.
That there isn't, or that there is or isn't Nazi content in it that would need special approval for German markets. And the thing is, I'm one guy making a game. I'm not going to be translating the game into German. Like, it really, it doesn't, I don't give a shit if my game can be sold in German. Like, Germans can just pirate it. It's fine. If it would be a problem, but it's not. Like if it would be that, I would not put the extra effort into, well, I might, but you know, it's like, and so I submit saying, like, please do not, like, please, can you take back what you said about needing to play the game, to, like assess if there's Nazi stuff in it. And I got the same note back, so I guess the implication is no, like they can't cancel out of that requirement now that it's all possible. So last night I finally
Cooper's second rule of gun safety is to never point the gun at something you are not willing to destroy. Now,
got
this
to submit
seems
a bill to
obvious,
Steve.
but is easy to forget in the moment. If you are training at the range and a burning hot shell casing falls down your shirt, are you prepared to keep the gun pointed at the target? If the gun malfunctions, are you sure you won't point it sideways to get a better look at what's wrong? What if you were preparing to take it apart for routine maintenance? Are you still paying attention to which way the barrel is pointing? Many accidents take place while cleaning guns, because that's often when we let our guard down.
Okay, I'm kind of back to enjoying this game, but I still am going to take a break soon. So anyway, last night I finally got a bill submitted to Steam. Waiting on for them to, like, I guess, play around with what's available.
The mind kill degrades the condition of firearms, making them much more likely to malfunction. You can clear most malfunctions by tapping the magazine to make sure it's
Tap the
seated,
magazine,
racking the
that's
slide to chamber a new round, and then bang, you're ready to go. Tap, rack, bang.
So now it's still going to be, like they say, like 3 to 5 like days, and that's it's business days. So I don't know if anybody's going to be at Valve today. Probably not. I hope not. I hope nobody has to like play my game to check for Nazi shit on New Year's Day. Okay, there's another tape in here, and then Damn, I am so... Oh, shit. It's probably in that room over there protected by that gun. Okay, here we go. It's ninja time. This is gonna be so cool. Oh. I'm standing too close to that pane of glass. I'm way high up. Okay. Good thing this robot is deaf. There's a tape right there on the chair.
A thought is not just an idea, but
Here we
also
go,
a way
here we
of
go.
thinking that idea. It can have different qualities, heavy, smooth and cold like a firearm, or buoyant, ephemeral and warm like a
That's how you
balloon.
spell ephemeral.
After the mind kill, when things seem at their most hopeless, remember that there are other receivers out there. These thoughts will raise you up and keep you afloat. If you can train your mind to not get weighed down in the face of adversity, it can help you survive the mind kill. Now, as strange as it sounds, we've received transmissions indicating that some receivers have dreamed balloons into existence, containing helpful items. These receivers have usually achieved the highest levels of mental strength, maintaining a certain lightness of thought, even when facing the end of their reality's timeline.
There we go. Okay, what does chat think? It does sound like a great idea for the game. I feel like similar imagery-based panic in this room. Traffickers, like how people think that smiley face on your receipt means you've been marked. I've never heard of that one specifically, but like, I mean, I don't know, that sort of brings to mind the whole smiley face killer conspiracy theory nonsense. That is just so dumb that I'm not even going to get into why it's dumb. Like, it kind of refutes itself. But yeah, people are, yeah, like people just go on Twitter discussing the like kidnapping conspiracies, and that episode of Behind the Bastards. I should listen to it again today. 4 rounds, I think, is what that indicates. No, didn't mean to do that. Can I load it any further? Okay. No, that's not what I wanted to do. In the chamber, perfect. Okay. Okay. Now we're in high tension. If I die here, this is the end of the stream. Because, yeah, I will just be too frustrated to continue. So unfortunately, my commentary is probably going to suffer because I started actually like really focusing. Flashlight's like too bright. Demonstrate the full auto.
Together, we have laid the foundation. You have shown great potential, but the potential is yet to be realized. We have sent the message. Can you hear it? There is an insidious force moving through your media, weakening the mind and causing widespread dysfunction. We call this the threat. We have developed a technique called Mind Tech to combat this threat.
You ever see that clip of like Adam West?
A new set of tapes has been issued to train and prepare you.
It's pretty great. Look it up. I wish they would have done like a. Once you see it, you'll wish they'd done a full audio run. But you just read the one line and it's like, oh, like. You get the impression that it really changes the whole. It feels like it was written for him. It's really great. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Now I thought I heard singing. Oh, you know what? But I also did find a tape, so. Okay, I think that this is the right gun for getting this level up. It seems like it's accurate out to a pretty good distance. Oh, there's a... Yeah, I'm not going for that. I'm gonna try. Nope. It's a big ol' nope. There's tape near here. Where? Who? Where? No, 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 no. man, I bet it's in there, isn't it? I don't know. List. Okay, so there's no railing for it to be on here. Is it over there? No. Oh, there it is.
The unconscious mind is critical in the development of mind tech.
So I
What seems like downtime is the slow and meticulous refinement of your true self.
so we're doing this.
When less attention is spent on fleeting banalities, the mind grows stronger in reality A. The threat understands this and has created systems to inundate you with a sea of interruptions, each one claiming to be critical, and each one focusing on your desires and fears. Each distraction on its own seems harmless, like a drop of rain. But like a relentless downpour, this unending torrent is able to erode even a mountain. Limit your distractions. Uninterrupted time focused on a task is time spent honing your mind tech. In this way, training the body is training the mind.
Which direction? This way. There's gonna be a way around. I'm dead. Well, thanks for watching me play Receiver 2, everybody. That is going to be the end of the run, and that's going to be the end of the stream. Like I said, I might stream again later today. Might not. Probably won't. But who knows? We'll see. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'm just going to check the chat. Say any last comments to anybody? I don't know. Well, Happy New Year, everyone. I'll probably stream like this more often, but not anymore right now. So yep. I don't really have a good sign off. How do I turn it off? Okay. Bye bye.